This is the Go Local Brief, a podcast from Go Local Interactive, a digital and technology marketing agency based in Kansas City with clients all over the United States. We operate in the self-storage, multifamily, home services, and senior living industries. On the Go Local Brief, we'll explore marketing news, technology insights, and much, much more. Let's get to the show. Hey, welcome to the Go Local Brief. I'm Shane Adams. I'm the Director of Marketing, and with me as always is Jason Barrett, the CEO.
Hello, everyone.
We're going to talk about marketing technology. We're going to talk about SEO, paid media, and all sorts of things. Let's get started. Let's get started. Hey, Jason, you're really excited about OpenClaw, and
I am.
I think it's a really interesting technology that kind of combines like agentic AI. What's your take on it, and where do you see it going?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's the first time in a long time that I've gotten wildly excited about something. And the reason is, it basically takes what was there with OpenAI or Claude or something like that, and it wraps more automation and agentic help around it. And it maintains memory, it kind of maintains state. There's something called compacting that happens in a conversation. So there's only so many tokens that are allowed inside of a conversation window. And a token would be like, think of it as some chunk of information that is given to the chat window. And the bigger the context that can be handled by a model, the better. But they can only take in so much at one time.
Wait, does that mean that it's better with bigger prompts, or?
It handles more information all at once. So it's like if you said, hey, here are my handwritten notes, just a couple little bullet points. That's small amount of tokens. Or here's like the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. Now let's talk. So the one is a lot more token rich than the other. Mm-hmm. Or like video versus text, or audio versus text. Text is very small.
Right.
But the more of it, the more tokens that are required.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it's got at its fingertips, all this information that's built into the model, but then you're also giving it information in the prompt that you want it to do something with in relation to that model. So, hey, here is our forecast and budget for 2026. Look through it, and then I'm going to ask some questions about it, or I want a presentation created, or whatever these things might be, is a lot more context than if I just said, hey, can you take a peek at this, copy and paste an email that I got from Shane a little while ago? How should I respond? That's very simple.
Right.
So the other thing is I could have a run-on conversation with my OpenClaw instance all day long, and it's remembering everything we've talked about all day long. And until it compacts, it's all still in there.
Oh, okay.
Like I could say, hey, remember when we were in the executive meeting this morning and we were making jokes about Tom's son?
Yep.
And be like, yeah, I remember that. Now, you get it too far back past the compacting point.
Okay.
And when it compacts, it's like it's a whole new conversation. The thing that OpenClaw does that's different than just the straight model is it will try to write some of that out to files that are called markdown files.
Oh, okay.
So it'll put those in like a memory.mark.md, or it could put some information in its soul.md. It could actually, my setup, I have it doing every single day is another markdown file, so that it can go back. I can go, we talked about this last Tuesday, and it can reference that markdown file and go, yep, that's right, we did.
Okay.
I see the file that you were talking about. I see the image you were talking about, whatever that might be. So that's what's different than if you do you use ChatGPT?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you know how there's conversational threads?
Yeah.
It's keeping track of all of it at one time. So you don't have to go find the thread where you were talking about, pillars of marketing.
Okay.
And restart that conversation. You can just be in the one window and go, hey, we were talking about pillars of marketing.
Oh, okay.
And it would go, yep, got it. And then, hey, I need to send Jason an email, and it will already know because, that's Jason at Go Local.
Yep.
He's in this role. He's going to want this information, that sort of thing. It's already got all of that.
Okay. So. And so the difference between, because chat stores memories in this, like in a similar way, or is it different? Like the way I know that like on the free one, for example, you can run out of memory, right? Like that just like you're running out of running out of the markdown tokens?
Well, yeah, you're running out of what it can handle.
Okay.
And it says you need to start a new thread.
Right.
And then if you've ever used like Claude Code or maybe you use an IDE, a development environment like Cursor or something like that, it'll go along so far and then it'll tell you compacting. It'll say compacting and then ... and you're waiting and then it comes back. Some of those IDEs can then, they're inside of the development environment's inside of a project. So it already has awareness of its environment, which means, hey, we're working on this website, we're working on this script, we're working, whatever that might be. It wakes back up in there and goes, oh, I've got this.
Yeah.
I see. Whereas when you do that through the free version on the web, it's a whole new ball game. It's like, hey, how are you? What can I help you with?
Right.
First time.
And it's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Who are you again?
And it's trying to build. They are doing a good job of building some of that back into those windows. And if you remember, we could create GPTs. You can still do that. And that basically gives it preset prompting and a little bit of preset context. You could drop files in there to say, you're going to need these. We're talking about Go Local. It's the Go Local handbook. It's the, our format, our template for our presentations or whatever. You're going to need these. And then now we talk.
Right.
But with the OpenClaw setup, it's already got that built in every single time you're talking.
So what has been interesting is I think over the last couple of months, you've kind of gone from like being super all in on N8N.
Yeah.
To this OpenClaw. Is that because you feel like OpenClaw is like the better of the world, or what would you like? What would you say to the difference between those two?
It's interesting. N8N is really good at structured workflow.
Okay.
These steps happen and they happen this order all the time, or maybe there's some sort of if then in there, but it doesn't vary wildly.
Okay.
And when it does, you could tend to use like a Google Sheet or something like that for tracking or for variance or maybe like direction, but it always goes from point A through Z in a certain order.
Right.
You can route down through there based on certain.
Yeah, there's some rules or what, like you can say, okay, if this happens, go here, but ultimately you're trying to end up at Z.
Right. So with OpenClaw, it's just got the intelligence to go, oh, I got this. I need to do these things. You don't have to give it the exact recipe from A to Z like all the time. It can come up with that intelligence on its own to go, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Secondarily, N8N fires off of some sort of a trigger. There's always a triggering instance or situation that happens that kicks it off.
Right.
Whether that be Salesforce, like a closed one on a prospect, or a ticket gets updated, or you can send an email. It can do any number. You can hit a button. You can fill out a form. Any number of things can trigger it.
With time period, whatever.
Yeah. And the same thing can happen with an OpenClaw setup, but it also has like it's called a heartbeat. So it literally kind of wakes itself up. That's the other thing that is unique about OpenClaw is it basically wakes up that prompting window to say, do we have anything we need to do? No. Okay, back to sleep. Do we have anything we need to do? No. And it's sitting there thinking and working and acting for you or for us all the time. And so you can also then schedule out what would be, we've developers have always called them cron jobs, chronological or chronology or, timed jobs, which are, basically what pops up on your phone when it's like 10 minutes to the podcast meeting with Shane. That's a cron job running on my phone, and pop, 10 minutes out, you've got a meeting with Shane. And I can dismiss it, remind me in 5. So 5 minutes, pop, Same thing can happen with OpenClaw, where you can say, hey, look at my schedule, look at my calendar, any meeting that I have, prepare any kind of information I would need prior to that meeting, get it ready for me the morning of.
Okay.
And email it to me.
Nice.
So it then would schedule out those crons, or on the heartbeat would wake up and look. Or you could say, hey, remind me tomorrow night, very much like you do with like Alexa or something like, hey, remind me tomorrow night that I want to watch such and such a show, or I need to send my mom a happy birthday text
Yep.
or something like that. And so you can literally just say, schedule this, and it will do that.
Right.
Change the schedule, whatever you might want to do.
So, I mean, you've shown me what OpenClaw can do, and I think it's like even just like the surface stuff that you've shown me is incredible.
Yeah.
How do you see it kind of? It feels like we're at a tipping point, right? Like we're kind of like at this like place where this technology like went like it 10x'd itself like overnight almost. And how do you see that impacting the way we work?
I think for us, it's going to be like, I should have also said this thing can call tools. And for us, it's going to be like a big tool that we can use to do better work for our clients. And, our people do so much analysis. They get down into the data. They're trying to do so much for so many clients all at once, which, they do a fantastic job of that. But the system can go into that data and surface information back to the team that they can then act on in a much more, I don't know, like automated fashion, so that it can be, I think it takes our people from like 10 to like 15 or 20 in terms of what their capabilities can be. Like with the same 100 people, you can do 2 to 3 times the work, and the quality increases. The level of intelligence increases. It just everything gets smarter and more interconnected. So we've tried really hard to make sure that paid search is aware of what's going on in organic, who's aware of what's going on over with the content, the website. Everybody's talking. Well, this is one of those things where the agents might work their way through the website, surface opportunities from an organic perspective that then it can go and pull GA for Google Analytics and our ad spend and go, based on, for example, we're overspending or we're being really pressed for our cost per clicks over here in this particular area. It just can spin up additional content or suggest that. And then, hey, we need to rank like this. We need to work on our schema like that. I've gone ahead and done it. It's out there ready for your review, that sort of thing. Like it's just taking a holistic look at everything and surfacing it.
That's, it's pretty incredible what is able to be accomplished with, as long as you know how to manipulate it, right? Like, and I think that's the thing that I think there's a lot of folks who are like, they're kind of scared of it, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like, hey, this is going to take away my job.
Right.
And the thing I always kind of come back to is it won't take your job if you at least know how to use it.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you know how to manipulate it and to control it in a way that gives you, we're going to need folks who have the ability to look at a tool like this and go, okay, I can do this now because I now have this extra set of hands essentially doing things that I wasn't able to do.
It's like everybody having their very own like personal assistant or like an extremely good intern or research analyst or data analyst or, that's right there at their fingertips. And they, it doesn't necessarily know what to go and look at. You can train that into the system, but it needs guidance and it certainly needs approval and like the human in the loop going like, you just hallucinated. Like that's not, you got that wrong. Let's here, look, try it like this.
Right.
You're way high on your math. Like for example, like I see a lot of, hey, if you did this, you'd make millions, but no, no, you would not. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more that goes into it than just that. And so, as it gets smarter, some of that stuff's worked out of the system, but it really brings humans want to work with humans. Like what I think is really fair is to go, some of these tools are fantastic, right? But I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to chat bot. I don't want to interact with that chat bot. Maybe there are some times when that's acceptable.
Right.
But I have a real question and I want to talk to some person, and I keep hearing the term AI slop, and I think that's pretty, it's fair. you know?
Yeah. Well, I think was it Affleck? I think Affleck was on a podcast, and he and Matt Damon were pitching the Netflix show that they just did, and he said something like, AI is designed to be average.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yes.
It is true. However, average across a whole lot of things gives you a bigger toolbox.
Right.
Whereas, like, yes, are you going to get, you're not going to, Claude isn't able to write The Great Gatsby.
No.
Right? Like, it can consume it and maybe summarize it, but to be able to actually execute the way that F. Scott Fitzgerald did, it's not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're getting at.
That's exactly it. I think humans are so, you see it, you know it, like you can look at an image and know, oh, that's not real. Certainly when you put that image into motion with video and you go, that's definitely not real.
Yeah.
And then there's something about text, you go, I know a person did not write that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something to, like the creator of OpenClaw said, he misses typos. Like I miss seeing human typos because, and I thought that was really, like, how interesting is that? Because everything's perfect.
Right.
Too perfect.
Yes.
You know, and you're like, this is not human.
Right.
And I don't know, there's a time and a place for that. Like, look at these numbers, get the analysis right. What do you think we ought to do? Build a plan, document this project, all of that stuff. But as for how the human would go, you don't really need that, you know, or yeah, that's extra, or this would be a big deal if you could get this worked into the system, you know, that sort of thing, where there's just something about people that makes our output, you know, it's going to be at a premium. I do think that the AI generated content, there's a place for it for sure. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we can deny that. And I think as it gets better and better and better and better, there will be some aspects to our lives where we would, I think we'll look at it and go, oh, you let a human do that? Like, for example, maybe like reading an X-ray and trying to find.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Or an MRI. Like, I know that what I'm saying.
Yeah. Is that an art form or is it science? Right.
You know, if the error rate is extremely low. Yeah. I think you'd rather have AI take a peek at it, you know, and go, no, that's okay. Or no, you've got a real issue right there. It might have been overlooked, or second opinion.
I was working on something last week where I was trying to work out a system for case studies.
Yep.
And I was like, this is what I'm thinking about case studies right now. Mm-hmm. And give me feedback on this thing. Mm-hmm. And I think I was using Chat. I can't remember if it was Chat or Claude, but fed it into Chat, and Chat basically kicked back and was like, "Oh, I get this because I understand systems."
Yeah,
and that I think is like that delineation made me think about it very differently, almost, because you go, "Oh, okay, systems make sense. Art is not
systems.
Art is not a system.
Art
right?
breaks the system every time.
Right, it does. And now.
Not every time.
Not every time, because the thing that I keep that made something you said made me think of was that the test of video that was like, this is where AI is right now, and it was like Will Smith eating pasta.
Okay,
and the distance it has come in 2 or 3 years to where like the first one looks like AI really obviously, and the next one. Well, our eyes have been trained to see it as AI, but it's way less than we thought it was, right? And that, I think, is where, okay, it's not art, but I can describe that scene and go, I could. That's a system that I can describe.
Well, and I think that's like the role of a director in a movie, mm-hmm. right? Is what you're going to see with our roles in the business. Mm. You're going to have that vision. I want the camera in tight, or I want it back. I want to use the wide angle. I want this to happen from the far right and blowing into the screen. I want somebody to walk it now. You know, like that sort of human directing is what's going to be in there for, hey, I need a website. It needs to do this. Don't do that. Like, let's monitor the user experience. We will make adjustments on the fly. These colors, this banner, run paid, but land them on that page. Do we, I need an analysis of content gaps,
right,
based on usage, based on some of the best sites that we see online, et cetera. I need to know, is our schema updated? You're going to just all the time be in, taking in and then directing out.
Yep.
And I think that's the way that we're going to see OpenClaw go, or whatever it turns out to be. The creator has now been hired at OpenAI.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so he wants the project to remain open source out there, but you can anticipate that this agentic world will be available through each of the major, Google.
Yeah.
With Gemini, you'll see something from Anthropic. You certainly are about to see it from OpenAI.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg tried to get him at Meta.
Sure.
They were in the hunt, and so everybody's going, that is it. We need that. We want something like that.
Well, and agentic, even just a term, is something I feel like just like magically came on the scene in 2026, and it's like February, right? Like you're like, wait, where did this come from?
Yes,
it felt very quick.
Yeah,
and OpenClaw, I think, was driving so much of that.
Yeah,
but I also think we could see some of the. I felt like Claude, especially with Claude Code, was really kind of pushing that forward. But man, it's a new world.
Well, it's funny because so I'm a huge Bitcoin fan. I certainly don't like the price where it is right now, but so Bitcoin was kind of created by somebody named Satoshi, right? And he basically he or she or they took all these pieces and put it together. They were already there for the most part. And it's the same thing here with OpenClaw. You had models, you had tool calls from models, you had cron jobs are certainly not new. Markdown files are basically just ways to basically take notes in a structured format and just kind of put all of those things together. And I'm oversimplifying. There's more to it than that. But that happened in like November or December of 25, released kind of quietly, right? And then some people started finding out about it over the Christmas break. That's not uncommon with college students being out, professors, people like that even us, where we take a little break between the end of the year and the start of the next one. And so that's when all of a sudden you started hearing these whispers about, it was ClaudeBot, and now OpenClaw. And, excuse me, when we went from, are they bots? Are they agents? It was vibe coding.
Yep.
All through 25 and into the part of the year, last part of the year. And the cool thing you would do with vibe coding before we got to this situation was you'd be doing it. Two, if you were really a power user, you'd have all kinds of different windows up. So like you would have cursor up with 6 different theoretical agents running at any one time.
Okay.
Well, then along comes, what's now OpenClaw, and you can spin up as many agents as you want, as many agents as your machine can handle, as many agents as you've got tokens. You've got to buy these tokens with subscriptions to either OpenAI or Claude or Gemini or whoever this might be. And like in my instance, I have a personal instance running, and I've got, I think, 48 or 49 agents at my disposal at any one time. They're not all running at once, but if we wanted to have a party, I can get them all going. I can get them all spun up and go, hey, we've got a brand new, we need to write new software. I want marketing material prepared for it. Give me a website developed. And next thing you know, I literally have to tell it, remember, you have 48 threads in our local processor, save 5 for our conversation, and you can go to town with the other 43. And it'll just
go to town.
Go to town. And my primary contact, my primary agent will spin up the rest of them.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't have to talk.
You're not prompting the rest of them. You're just telling the one, and it goes, oh, I know that I'm going to need this thing, and it goes and it gets it.
Think very much like here. If I were to come into the executive meeting and say, we're moving into a new space. We're going to go into swimming pool marketing or something like that. That would mean for you, what are we going to do from the marketing perspective? I need from the finance department, what does this look like in terms of projections from net revenue side and a cost side? You're going to need to get those numbers, finance department, from the sales team in terms of what they think we might be able to accomplish.
Right.
And so I say it, that goes out to the primary team who then pushes it out to individual contributors that they might not need information from, and then it surfaces back to me. It's the same scenario that is working inside of that machine.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's really cool.
So
thanks for joining us for this pilot episode of the Go Local Brief. Stay tuned for more marketing and technology insights from Go Local Interactive.